Hey, Willie, come here. Listen to this.
Turn it up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Woo! You guys are the best. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. No, thank you.
No, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome, everybody, to 3NN Podcast.
Now with more.
My name is Nick Tesla,
I'm Rich Colazzo.
Brian McFadden.
and we are the fearless team that opens up your mind like a can opener on a Tuesday morning. Tuesday morning? There's a store called Tuesday Morning.
But today's a Sunday or a Wednesday.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know if
already
you're
falling off the wheels.
If you're in the room with
wagon.
if you're in the room with us, it's a Sunday. But if you're watching us, it's a Wednesday. Oh, time is relative.
No, what are you talking about?
Time
Somebody
doesn't
else could
exist.
watch this on Sunday. What if
Time
Sunday's
is
the only
not.
day that you got to do this? What if you're Elon Musk and you work 80 hours a week, and the only time you get 2 hours to watch an awesome podcast like 3NN Podcast is on Sundays? So you have to wait. Yeah, it might come out on Wednesday, but Elon Musk is watching our shit on Sundays. The official podcast of Elon Musk. Yep, I did say it. I said
The
it.
official
I probably opened
podcast
myself
of
up to
Elon
one
Musk.
badass lawsuit right
Yeah,
there.
I'm waiting
I
for the
don't-
part where somebody
I don't
comes
care,
out and
'cause
mentions
Elon Musk
that.
is like my father from another dimension or some shit. All right, so welcome to 3NM Podcast today. Our episode. Hold on. First, I want to celebrate.
Yeah.
Hello, this is episode
The Big
50,
50.
The Big 50. We're over the hill. We're over the hump. Hello. All right. You know what? I swear to God.
We are old.
Your kids are starving. Carl Jr. believes no child should
Goodbye,
go
Queen.
hungry. You are an unfit mother. Your children will be placed in the custody of Carl Jr.
Carl's Jr.
Fuck you. I'm eating.
Yeah. All right. So.
Don't want to sound like a dick or nothing, but it says on your chart you're fucked up. You talk like a fag, and your shit's all retarded.
Yeah.
That's your typical doctor nowadays. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Coming out of a No Child Left Behind program, no doubt.
I discovered how to use the soundboards on here, and it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun. You know what I'm saying? I love it. 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 I love it.
He loves it.
I love it. I love it. All right, we're gonna do Project Censored today.
Check.
Sad part is, what do you call it? I don't think. Yeah, we did smoke. So Project Censored, everybody. Project Censored, if you don't know what Project Censored is basically a book that comes out every year, or a publication that comes out every year that basically describes or basically gives you a list of the top most censored stories by mainstream media and not just mainstream media, most media outlets. So we got Project Censored that we're going to get into today.
Not to be confused with Project Challenge that you may have had in your school when you were younger.
Yeah, so I don't know, Brian, if you want to get us started, what was number 25? We're reading basically from Censored 2016, which is a 2016 publication that covers the years 2014 through 2015. I know Brian wanted to touch on some 2016 shit, but
I'm not going to touch on it. I'm just saying, Oregon and Hillary's emails were both not really touched on the mainstream media.
There's more Hillary stuff coming out, and I think it blows my mind. It boggles my mind to think that people are just okay with somebody that corrupt being a presidential candidate.
She's being investigated by the FBI. How can she run for president? I don't get it. But then again, if Ted Cruz can run and he's not constitutionally eligible, then that,
Well, is Barack Obama constitutionally eligible? Trump is a truther. A birthday truther or
All
whatever.
right, ladies and gentlemen, Greenland's meltwater contributes to rising sea levels.
Yes.
Now, there's a movie for free on YouTube called Ice that is about just that. And
look at Brian.
and in this movie, it gets interesting. It's like the year 2020. Natural resources have been all but run out, so the only place left to drill is Greenland, under the glacier. And they find out that the drills are actually causing the glacier to melt faster.
Whoa.
And it screws everything up. It dilutes the salt water, fucks up the jet stream,
You heard it here. 2 thumbs up from Brian. Go check it out. Google Ice on YouTube. It's a documentary.
Or it might be under Ice 2020. But
All right.
It's a documentary that hasn't happened yet. Yeah, just like Idiocracy.
It's a mockumentary, kind of like District 9, so it should be good if you.
Oh, no, actually, it's an action movie. It's not a mockumentary. But
Well, you just said it was a documentary.
No, I didn't.
Okay. Moving on.
I said it could be a documentary that hasn't happened yet, just like Idiocracy.
Okay, I got you. Not like a Spinal Tap type of thing. Which
No.
This is Spinal Tap. Check it out. I recommend it. 2 thumbs up. Moving on. I guess this one's actually pretty damning. This one's crazy. This one will fuck your head up.
I actually haven't heard of that program.
Exactly. We're going to come across.
I've heard of a lot of them, but not that
reason
one.
it's called Project Censored, my friend.
I've heard that they've been doing that lately.
Yeah, but that specific program I've not heard of. I've heard of like
you know where I heard of this before? My crazy Uncle Tom, all right? Crazy Uncle
You
Tom.
racist?
And no, I'm not racist, and I'm not talking about Uncle Tom in the black sense of Uncle Tom, he's a shill. No, my crazy Uncle Tom, who's been in and out of psychiatric wards, okay? My crazy Uncle Tom's been telling me since 1993, okay? When I was 8 years old, crazy Uncle Tom was telling me that they were listening to people's home phones, and I was like, you're nuts, crazy Uncle Tom, you're nuts. And all of a sudden, cell phones came out, and he was institutionalized like 3 times between that and the first time that he told me that your home phone is watching you, or is listening to you, right? Cell phones come out, and he's like, they're listening to everybody now. Everybody who gets a cell phone, and everybody wants one, they're listening to everybody. I was like, crazy Uncle Tom, they got to put you back in a straitjacket, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's just crazy, that Uncle Tom. And what's it turned out to be? It's the truth. Maybe it wasn't happening when crazy Uncle Tom was talking about it, but maybe it was.
You know that?
Tell them what it actually
that?
says, Nick. Tell them what the actual headline is.
Do you want me to read it?
Do you know that they can actually, like, if you're taking a picture, they can actually see you physically taking the picture?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Every time I take a dick pic, I think
that's
that.
what I'm saying. So, like, every time I'm...
Yeah.
What we're talking about,
Oh,
ladies and
yeah.
gentlemen,
Do you understand? If nobody, we haven't had video in a while, but if you can see our production laptop here, which I do use sometimes to jerk the gurk, you know what I'm saying? Has a.
we're on this list. We're at number 24.
It has a, what do you call it? I have a thing, a little post-it note covering up my camera. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want them watching me.
Because, according to number 24, the NSA's Aurora Gold program hacks cell phones around the world. That's Aurora Gold.
Making me do that.
NSA's Aurora Gold is hacking cell phones around the world.
Thank you for reading that, Brian, because I did not know if I'd ever even get to it. I'm talking about jerking my gut.
Exactly. Moving on, since we just spent
to number 23. This one's crazy.
Yes.
This one is like sickening.
Unprocessed rape
you want to read that, Rich?
Yeah. Rape and sexual assaults, a renewed call to action. A report by the White House Council on Women and Girls issued in 2004, in January 2014, revealed that nearly 1 in 5 women have experienced rape or attempted rape or had attempted rape in their lifetimes. Furthermore, the report indicated that although the testing of rape kits, forensic examine collects ...
Everyone, I need a ... today. Because we're just going to cruise right along.
Unprocessed.
But that's
nuts, dude.
Yeah.
That is
Wow.
crazy, my friend. And what it really makes you think of, and this is like, kind of comes back to crazy Uncle Tom, who said that the cops were raping people and they could get away with it. And like, they were raping like teenage girls and they could get away with it. And it's like, these teenage girls, like, if you come to find out that I think they say 9 out of 10 rape cases or 8 out of 10 rape cases are never reported, and it comes down to like a feeling of shame, a feeling of not wanting to. Sometimes it's blacked out.
You won't really fucked up.
But the police are the ones supposed to be processing these rape kits, so it really makes you come back to Uncle Tom, and was Uncle Tom onto something else?
Well, get this.
And
This
that-
just came out this week.
And I'm not accusing any cops of raping.
This just came out in the
anybody, I'm
past
just
week.
saying.
A couple courts ruled that pedophilia is now classified as a sexual orientation.
I thought it was.
No, it's not a
as
disorder anymore.
Not a psychological disorder.
It was.
Explained
They
as a
changed it. They
psychological
changed
deviation,
it from
not
a
disorder.
They changed
Isn't that funny?
pedophilia from a mental disorder to a sexual orientation.
Every dude out there is a pedophile if you go by the the legal explanation. No, every man out there is a pedophile because a child is under the age of 18. If you look at a 17-year-old chick who's fully formed and she's got a fucking sweet ass and a nice rack on her, and you can't tell if she's 18, 19, or 20, and she walks past you, and you're like, damn, oh my God, I would love to get in that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to talk like a perv or anything. I'm just saying,
keep it real.
if you look at a 16 or 17-year-old chick who's looking pretty nice and looking pretty developed, and you can't really tell, well, unfortunately, you're guilty of pedophilia right there because you're lusting after a minor. You're lusting after basically the legal definition of a child.
Yeah, but you know what the crazy thing about that is? In some cultures, man, it's the legal age for a lot of cultures, actually, especially in the indigenous cultures.
Like 15 or
it's a lot younger because it's when the child starts to
It's when
develop,
the girl
matures and gets her period.
Starts going through puberty.
When she's able to get her menstrual cycle. That's when
and they also have lower life spans.
Yeah.
So the lifespan is like 40 years old or 35 years old. So
then you got to start pumping out those kids soon.
Well, it makes more sense to mature them.
But you know what? There was a scientific study a long time ago. The reason why that men like young, attractive women is because a long time ago we didn't live very long.
True.
You know what I mean? So because we didn't live very long, girls develop.
Chicks was married at 12 and 13, like married and like settling down. Like, all right, time to settle down on the farm. You know
girls got their menstrual cycle.
Kids.
Girls got their menstrual cycles really early, and then men had to make babies while they could, and then we die off by 20, 30, because the average age for the average human from a long time ago was 30 years old.
Yeah,
true.
So there's
well, here you go. I'm not paying a target on myself here. Shout out to the Vatican. The pedophile Pope rapes little boys.
Oh yeah, man, them guys love them little boys.
Yes, they
Well,
do.
it is now a sexual preference for the Pope to rape a little boy. It is not a mental disorder.
By the way, we are not trying to.
No, we are not.
We're not trying to say that this Pope, has raped any little boys. I think there actually has been evidence that previous popes have been guilty of such transgressions. But we're not talking
and other
about
members
that today.
of the Vatican.
We're not talking about the Pope and his liking of little boy wieners, okay? Or not the Pope's liking little boy wieners, the Pope's condoning of other priests who like little boy wieners, okay? All right? Or his allowing of it to happen and just shuffling around. That's what I think of. When they move a priest from one location to another because he was accused of touching little boys or some shit like that. It's like you're just moving around the deck chairs on the Titanic and this whole religion thing and Catholic.
Oh, did you hear? They're making a Titanic 2. It's going to be a fully functional replica of the Titanic, but with reinforced hulls. It sails.
I thought you were talking about Titanic 2, like the movie.
No, like they're making a full-size replica of the Titanic, and it's going to sail
started
like
that
next
last.
month.
We talked
They
about
started
that
like 2 years ago.
We might have.
talking about that at work. How the Britannic was the sister ship to the Titanic might actually be the Titanic, and they might have destroyed the Britannic for insurance purposes.
Yes,
and
I've watched a few documentaries on that.
Went through the ice patch, knowing that there was a very high probability that it would.
They purposely made their turn like 100 miles after they were supposed to, so they would be in the ice patch.
A lot of people say that's fucked up because that's basically that's intentionally murdering a lot of people for an insurance scam.
Really?
And in all reality, I think that's going on.
But what's fucked up is the fact they're making another one,
including 9/11.
Yeah,
would you?
9/11 was one of the greatest.
We got to get
insurance
back to
scams
this,
in history.
but real quick, would you ride on the new Titanic when it sails? Would you take that cruise?
If they make it Dubai on the ocean, fuck yeah.
But wait, time out.
On that thing.
Is it going to be a perfect replica?
Yes, 100% exact same ship.
But
just with reinforced steel hulls and shit upgraded for technology.
I don't know, man.
To meet today's safety standards.
Well, they already have. The Britannic is the sister ship, and the Britannic is still.
It's sitting at the bottom of the Atlantic. Shut up.
The Britannic?
Yes. It's
I
sitting at the bottom of
the real Britannic, yes.
Oh,
but
yes.
what is labeled as the Britannic?
You mean the Titanic?
What has the label of the Britannic on it could actually be the Titanic, but that is actually an exact replica.
Yeah.
So it could be. That could have been.
But they're naming this one
restored.
Titanic 2.
What I'm wondering is if it's an exact replica, are they going to update engines? Are they going to update amenities?
No, it's still going to be a steam engine. They're just updating the safety.
Here's my question: are they going to be flat screen TVs?
And it will.
And
they said it will have enough lifeboats, unlike the other. That's what they said. Yeah.
I have a weird feeling. I have a very weird feeling.
That came from the company, the Blue Star Line, the company doing it.
New cruise ships tend to not have enough lifeboats.
Now, they swore this one will have enough lifeboats.
This ship can't sink.
Yeah, the ship can't sink.
Yeah, they're not saying that. They're just saying it'll have enough. That's what caught my attention. This made me laugh when I read the article. It didn't say this ship won't sink. It said fully functional replica of the Titanic, and this one actually has enough lifeboats. That's what it said.
That's like saying you build a plane that can't crash. It's like there's you can't stop nature. You can't stop accidents. You can't stop shit like that.
Number 21.
22.
20. Well, we're at 22.
So.
My bad. Global killing of environmentalists rise drastically. Ooh, oh my God.
Is the oil industry like clinging to its last?
I think it is.
bits of life or its
I believe it is.
You know what the thing is
it
that
taking its last
no.
breaths and it's trying to
The
hold
thing
on
is,
for dear life?
the thing is that we don't run. It's physically impossible to run out of oil.
The administration
I think
doesn't want the sheeple to know that the climate is changing, so they're killing everybody that knows the truth.
I think it's.
I think it all comes down to profits, and I think electric cars are coming out, and I think it just comes down to these fucking boardroom members for these big energy companies and big fossil fuel companies and fracking companies and shit like that. Comes down to them like, shit, we need to protect our profits. We got these environmentalists out there that could literally be creating a whole new green movement and a whole new movement. This shit, now all of a sudden everybody's accepting of electric cars, where 10 years ago everybody was like, it's not feasible. Come on, you drive a Prius, you pussy. You know what I'm saying? Now all of a sudden you drive a Tesla and you're the fucking man. It's like,
Well, it's
they're
like
starting to feel
not
like
even just
they
that.
got small dicks compared to the fucking the alternative energy fucking shit, and they're starting to feel fucking threatened.
Not even just that. Like
So
me
they're
and
killing
Rich do lawn care, and you get the environmentalist. Yeah, we don't want pesticides in the
God.
environment.
Oh my God.
Okay, there's a law. There's a law in New Jersey. There's a law in New Jersey. In New Jersey, you're not allowed to put down fertilizer before March 1st. So I was out there on, I guess it was February 30th, the day before March 1st, I was putting down lime, and I literally had a Trenton Township fucking officer drive up to me and ask me what I was spreading. He wanted to look at the fucking bag, look at the ingredients, and make sure it wasn't fertilizer.
You should have said, it puts the
Protect the
lime
environment.
on the grass, or it puts the lime on the lawn.
I had an Indian lady do the same thing, man. She got out of her car. Came out of her house, looked at the labels, took pictures of the labels.
What the fuck?
Asked me like a million fucking questions. Yeah, man, it was weird, dude. Like it's all because she wanted to, protect the environment.
Yeah. Some of them
Or
are-
she was a secret shopper. You think secret
Yeah, I
shoppers
thought about that too,
are
man. I was like,
only-
oh,
you
shit.
think secret shoppers are only in retail environments? Fuck no. Any company can call up secret shopper or mystery shoppers, whatever, and inquire into their services, and all they do is they call one of their people and say, hey, listen, this is the company you got to call, and act like you're this person, and act like you're really concerned about what they're using, and follow up to make sure that they're not skipping on any ingredients or anything. Because if it's a actual national company, which I know your company is, then there's people that are in a boardroom and shit like that want to make sure, even on the ground level, that shit's being used the way it's supposed to be used, and the right shit is being used, and there's no corners being cut and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But environmentalists shouldn't be getting killed. All right. Deadly Environment. A report by the non-governmental organization NGO Global Witness revealed that from 2002 to 2013, at least 908 people were killed globally due to their environmental advocacy, with the rate of murder doubling in the last 4 years.
That's fucking nuts, man.
Latin America and Asia show the highest rates of violence as tensions over limited natural resources, blah, 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 blah.
You know how
blah,
many
blah.
people
Yada,
died
yada, yada.
in the Amazon rainforest just for protesting?
Do you know what
every
actually
year?
got me started
It's
on my
fucking
journey
ridiculous, dude.
of making videos and creating
Was it because of
content?
that?
No, the BP oil spill. There was a guy named Demcad. I'm sure I've talked about him a couple times on the show before. A guy named Demcad who still creates videos to this day. I don't really follow him anymore. But when I first woke up and first started getting interested in everything, I was watching Demcad's videos. And one of his videos, he talked about the BP oil spill and how there was a bunch of BP oil spill whistleblowers. Not people who worked for BP, but people who were investigating the BP oil spill and how they weren't talking about it, or how the media was kind of like covering it up, and BP was trying to say that they were cleaning it up, and they really weren't. And there was like, and these people were coming up dead in weird, like in car accidents. And this was one person riding their bike down the street, got fucking nailed from behind by like by a car doing 60 or 70 miles an hour. And it's like, in his video, he's like, I'm not going to keep talking about this shit because if nobody else is talking about this, I could just end up dead and nobody even really knows.
Yep.
So I was like, one of my first videos, one of the first videos you can find on the Where We Lied To channel is a video of me talking about the BP oil spill, and I give a shout out to like Alex Jones. Go check out Infowars.com. Like, it still gives me a headache to this day to think about me giving a shout out to Alex Jones. Go check out Alex Jones. But at the time, I was listening to Alex Jones and I liked him. But that was my first intro into the shit, was the BP oil spill whistleblowers that were being murdered at an exorbitant rate. It's not like, oh, 3 of them got murdered. No, there was literally like 50 of them. There was like a video I watched where it just like rattled off all these people and their slight involvement with investigating the BP oil spill. And the fact that they were saying something other than the official story of them saying, no, it's all good, we're cleaning it up, and it hasn't affected the environment or anything like that. Or
could you imagine what they would do to people investigating Fukushima?
Oh man!
The only reason I feel like we're not going to get murdered for talking about it right now
is because we don't know shit about it.
No, because it's a far enough away. It's been enough time where they're like, nobody gives a shit about the BP oil spill anymore. But then it was only 2 or 3 years after it happened, and people still kind of gave a shit. Yeah. And everybody were pissed. Well, everybody was under the impression that BP was trying to clean it up. They may not have been doing a great job, but they were trying to clean it up.
No, not everybody. South Park made that clear.
Yeah. But
that was a funny episode. They called it DP.
Started. So it's crazy that on episode 50
we don't just love the Earth, we DP it.
Episode 50 of my second podcast out of 3 or 4 that we've done. Episode 50 comes full circle back around to like the first video I ever created. What? So go check out Demcats. Shout out to Demcat. Anyway, moving on.
21.
21. Who's getting 21? Because we got
the new Amazon of the North. Canadian deforestation.
Oh,
get out of here.
Get the fuck out of here with that, man.
When I was little, I used to think Canada was nothing but forests.
They better watch that, man. Bigfoot's up there, man.
There's nothing for us.
They try to take that shit up there if they want to. The Bigfoot's up in them woods, man.
Since 2000.
Sasquatch.
This is crazy.
Sasquatch is interdimensional.
Since 2000, Canada has led the world in deforestation despite being overshadowed by reports of the forests in Brazil and Indonesia. I didn't know about Canada.
Nah, me neither.
With only 10% of the world's forests, Canada now accounts for 21% of all deforestation in the world. That's like the U.S. with prisons. What the fuck?
Yeah. We're chopping down. What do you call it? We're chopping down people's lives.
Oh, yep. There it is. Here it is. Surges in oil sands and shale gas development, logging, and road expansion have been some of the causes.
I've always wondered. Have you ever noticed how big Canada is? Will they ever? Not would they ever?
Well, the top half's all glacier.
Well, I'm saying, but obviously that's going to eventually start to recede and not completely fade away.
That's going to take thousands of years.
Well, there's going to be a lot of land that opens up and that is livable, you know what I'm saying? There still is land that is livable. If there's people living in Alaska in fucking tundra type of shit, then some of them people can live in the tundra type of shit that's in Canada. Just not a lot of people do. But people live in Wisconsin. That shit can be fucking tundra type shit. You know
don't you know?
People live in don't you know? Yeah, all right, Bobby's World Mom. Don't you know?
Don't you know?
Don't you know it? All right,
don't you know?
I don't know. Will they ever expand like kind of how America just expanded to like every little crevice? Like we had to like explore. And, I'm gonna pop a town up here, even though it seems like completely illogical to ever put a town here. I'm gonna pop a town, Fargo, North Dakota. I'm gonna call it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, maybe
some places.
It could be. That could happen.
I know that's the just
New Orleans.
Most idiotic.
Let's put this town right on this delta.
We got 20 minutes to go through to the next 20, so we got to do 1 a minute. Next. Who's next? Who's getting it? I'll get it. All right. Number 20. FBI seeks backdoors in new communications technology. I think we all kind of understand this and all kind of know about this now. But the problem is, this has been going on for the past 2 to 3 years, or actually 4 to 5 to 10 years. This shit's been going on where the FBI and federal agencies, federal three-letter agencies, have come after certain technology makers and wanted them to basically open up the technology so that they can spy on people. And not spy on people through their webcams and stuff like that. I mean more of they can take anybody's phone and unlock it and hack it and get all of the metadata out of that phone. You know what I'm saying?
They've been able to do that shit since the beginning, though.
But the problem is a lot of technology makers understand that that's, especially in the United States, that's invasion of their customers' privacy.
Yeah.
And if the customers end up finding out about that, they may end up boycotting that company, and therefore that company has no way of, like, finding their feet again and may end up failing. So it's like the company inherently wants to help the government, but they're like, if we do and the public finds out about it, they could just all turn away from us and go to a company that doesn't help the government and doesn't want to help the government. So it's like we have to kind of protect our customers' privacy a little bit. But this has been going on for years. Everybody knows about it now because of the San Bernardino shooter's iPhone, which they found nothing on, right? Or was it San Bernardino's or his brother's iPhone
something
or some
like
shit?
that.
You know
I think
what
it was
I'm saying?
brothers.
But everybody knows about it now. But it's actually, look, in October of 2014, the Federal Bureau of Investigations Director James Comey announced that the Bureau was seeking to enlarge its data collection capabilities to include direct access to cell phones, tablets, and computers.
Big
through
Brother
an
is
expansion
watching.
through an expansion of
Dot, dot.
dot. I wish I had the Morse code thing on here. Beep, 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 beep. That's what it should be.
Most comprehensive assessment yet warns against geoengineering risks. Comprehensive pair of reports by dozens of researchers convened by the National Academy of Sciences offered a damning critique of geoengineering. And I actually heard a few different reports about this, and basically one of the things, they're still claiming they haven't done anything yet. They haven't started engineering the climate yet. They're seeking budget and approval. But what the scientists in those reports are saying is if they were to start and suddenly stop, there would be a rapid increase in global temperature over all land.
So Prince talked about chemtrails, and Nas talks about geoengineering.
Right?
What?
Nas and yes, yeah.
All right, moving on. We got to rapid fire these ones. If there's any of these ones that like people kind of know about, maybe we could just kind of glaze
I don't know
over
about
them.
that one.
All right,
I don't know about
Ice
that
Cream Truck, the NSA's secret search engine. Actually, no, it's IC Reach. What do you call it? Based on documents leaked by Edward Snowden, Ryan Gallagher reported for The Intercept that the National Security Agency has developed a Google-like search engine called IC Reach, which has the capacity to gather personal information. The search engine can access over 850 million personal records, including private emails, chats, and some phone locations. The NSA is sharing ... Probably with other organizations. But that's pretty crazy, I guess. I've always kind of dreamed of having access to something like that myself. I don't know why. If you've ever downloaded or were looking into those background check search engines where you can do a background check on anybody.
Who are you
find out
doing
what's
background
going on.
checks on?
When I was like 12, 13 years old, I used to love trying to like find one of those for free because obviously I didn't have my own money, so I was trying to find a background check search engine that I could use for free. And I
Aren't
knew
those things
there was
fake,
one
though?
out there. No, they're based on what do you call it? The same exact one that employers use and the same exact one that police use. Like the background check, it's a basic system where it doesn't give you like you can get the full on shit, but there is real shit like that. Number 17.
Media whitewash the Senate's CIA torture report. Although the corporate and progressive press alike focused public attention on the Senate Intelligence Committee's December 2014 reported the CIA secret program of abductions, brutal interrogations, and torture of terrorism suspects. Nafez Ahmed reported
Whoever
that the
he
coverage...
is.
Yeah, I don't know who the hell that was. Reported that the coverage has whitewashed the extent to which torture has always been an integral and systemic intelligence systematic process of since ...
Systematic intelligence practices.
Since
No,
we don't know.
I need my glasses. I'm all the way over
It's
there.
all good. It's all good. My bad.
Since ...
What do you call it? Yeah, I don't know. That one's kind of crazy. All I can think of is the renditions. I've talked about a couple times on this show that the CIA actually does, that they actually do themselves. They actually do themselves. What am I talking about? That they actually do in this country to American citizens, and we talked about it on last
George W. Push that.
If we're just cattle, if we're just stock in a warehouse, like they can sell us off. And what happens, like if you worked in a warehouse and picking and packing, is the CIA rendition program kind of just like a picking program, like they're warehouse pickers, and they just go out and pick the product that's needed and then deliver it or put it in a box or put it in a shipping container.
Yeah, they put you in your cell box.
And then send it off to its rightful owner, its new rightful owner that it belongs to. You know what I'm saying? It's been waiting on that shelf for that person. All right. I tried to go to oh, there we go. All right. So, moving on. Number 16. We got about 10 minutes.
U.S. military sexual assault of Colombian children.
When was this? What?
Wow, that's fucked
800-page report commissioned by Colombian government and the Revolutionary Armed Forces of Colombia. U.S. military personnel raped at least 54 children in Colombia between 03 and 07.
You know what? Hold on. Here, let me say something real quick, because I really truly believe this, but this is basically a question of what I believe, and this is kind of like a new belief of mine, is that nobody does anything in this world, nobody does anything wrong, given their view of the world. Given their worldview, nobody does anything wrong. How is that fucking the case? How is there military men who think that they're not doing anything wrong by raping 54 Colombian children?
In 4 years.
That's disgusting, man.
That's fucked up.
That is fucking
That's fucked up. How are they right? How are they
54
right?
kids
Unless
in
they're
4
literally-
years.
But hold on. Are they maybe in a psychological MK Ultra type program? Or hold on, they've tested LSD on people on their own what do you call it, soldiers? Who's to say that they haven't? In that situation, there wasn't a drug that they were being placed on, and it was all just an experiment to see how fucked up these people they can make these fucking soldiers be. Because that doesn't sound like normal shit, even for U.S. soldiers who have shot children, who have killed innocent people and shot innocent reporters and shit like that from helicopters, right? That still sounds like over the line of something's not fucking right there. That's not just like, just a group of guys who thought they'd go around and rape all the village children. Like, no. Something seems
Number
wrong.
15 matters to every household in America.
Woo! Big Sugar borrowing tactics from Big Tobacco. The Onion. Or the Union. The Onion of Concerned Scientists reported in June 2014 that food and beverage manufacturers, along with industry-supported organizations such as trade associations, front groups, and public relations firms, have actively sought to ensure that Americans continue to consume sugar at high levels.
Damn it.
The sugar industry has adopted many of the same tactics previously developed. The dot is like our yada yada from our yada yada from Seinfeld. All I can say about that is go to your local convenience store and look at every single thing other than water, other than bottled water. Look at every single food item and look and see what the grams of sugar are in it. If it says 0 grams, look in the ingredients and see if it says sucralose, aspartame. What do you call it? There's a few of them. Just look up the different sugars that are out there.
High fructose corn syrup.
High fructose corn syrup. They're getting sugar in you.
But listen, and the thing is, and real quick on that note, and the reason why they're doing that is because the food industry is connected to the health medical industry, and the medical industry, if they make money by selling you, by giving them patients.
My toes, they're gonna take my toes. Oh, diabetes. Oh, you know how much my insurance covers my diabetes medications?
And it all comes down from eating too much sugar.
And it's all just profit.
Getting fat.
And we're just a product. Hey, if we're just cattle fenced in, don't you want to fatten up your cattle so you can get the most that you can for them?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
I can see why that happened.
Whoa, you went too far.
I went too far. Who'd be texting me, yo? All right.
Global forced displacement tops 50 million. On World Refuge Day 2014, global total of people who had undergone forced displacement was the highest on record since World War II. And we don't even need to continue. That statement alone is pretty fucking...
51.2 million globally displaced people at the end of 2013.
It's insane.
And that was 2013 before the Syrian refugee crisis.
That's
right?
nuts, man.
It's probably at least double now.
It's got to be at almost 100 million.
How many? But so to put that in perspective, people, that's like all of Los Angeles and New York population combined.
That's a third of our country. That's a little less than a third of our country.
Maybe
that
even Philadelphia
would be
combined. That's nuts, dude.
And that could actually happen in our country.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that's a whole different topic.
Yeah, that is a whole different topic.
Number 13.
Number 13 says something about the Pentagon and NATO, and we got about 10 minutes. Ooh. All right, 13. Who's?
You.
Pentagon and NATO encircle Russia and China in service of corporate. Please forgive me, guys. My glasses are much blurry.
Well, that's on RT. That's not really censored. That's on Russian state media.
It kind of is. It kind of is censored, but not. It's becoming less and less censored.
Some of these, I guess, we don't really.
I think we're being prepared. We're being prepared for World War III. So with Russia and/or China. So I think
I don't listen. I don't.
That makes sense.
But I firmly believe we're not going to go to war with China or Russia, man.
You're caring. All right, so let's move on to
number 12. Seeds of doubt. USDA ignores popular critiques of new pesticide-resistant genetically modified crops.
Yeah. Wow.
That was a mouthful.
400 petition signatures, citizens, health professionals, and farmers expressing public opposition. In September 2014, the USDA approved a new generation of genetically engineered corn and soybeans created by the biotech company Dow AgroSciences. Yes, that's the same Dow that makes Dow Corning, the, what do you call it?
And Dow Chemical, I believe?
Yeah, Dow Chemical, the what do you call it? The Pink Panther. Anyway, the new Enlist brand seeds will tolerate a new weed killer, also engineered by Dow. So they're basically like, Dow's like, hold up, we want our own kind of Monsanto Roundup Ready thing going on. And they're like, all right, let's start it. And it's all happening under our nose, and nobody wants to report it. That's pretty insane. So Dow is like now Monsanto. And Dow just merged with a big company, with DuPont.
Really?
I think.
Ooh.
DuPont and Dow merged, I believe, and DuPont.
And DuPont owns Delaware.
I'm pretty sure it was DuPont. All right, number 11. We're kind of on the same track.
Pesticides manufacturers spend millions on PR responses to decline bee population, which is really fucked up because you know them bees are dying, man.
Them bees are dying. Hello, I ain't been stung by a beer. I ain't never been stung by a beer, but I've been stung by a bee in at least 20 years. So there's something weird about that. There's something very weird that I ain't been stung by a bee in 20 years. I see maybe 2 or 3 bees a season, whereas I used to see maybe 100 bees a season.
Shit, I don't know about that. Last year I was on that property doing an aeration and overseeding.
Oh.
I had to move a hose from the lawn to the thing.
Patches.
And I got bit like 6 times.
You'll still find patches, but after the human apocalypse, I think there's been a bee apocalypse, and after the human apocalypse, you'll still find patches of a good 1,000 humans, but it's not like you're going to find 1,000 humans every 10 miles, whereas now you'll find humans every 10 miles.
But the bee population is definitely going down.
Number 10 is all Nick.
Number 10.
This is you.
Costa Rica, setting the standard on renewable energy.
Yeah. I didn't hear
Wait,
about
you know
that
what?
news.
But I thought wasn't Sweden or one of them countries? Sweden, Holland, is one of them. They're really
Iceland,
I thought they was them.
Iceland is using the geothermal energy underneath of them because Iceland's just a volcano. Iceland's a volcano that popped up out the ocean like
Hawaii.
500 years ago or 1,000 years
Just
ago.
like Hawaii.
Yeah, so Iceland's harnessing that geothermal energy. For 75 days straight during the first months of 2015, the nation of Costa Rica did not burn any fossil fuels to generate electricity. That's enough said.
That's fucking dope.
Enough said.
That's mad dope.
That's super mad dope.
Cheers.
All right, number 9. Millions in poverty get less media coverage than billionaires.
Yup.
Too.
Yup.
I don't even think
We know
need to
that.
talk
Because they
about
don't
that.
care about us.
We don't even need to give their explanation. That's some.
What did you just do?
Some real life shit right there. I don't know. We'll
Bro.
go back to it. Wouldn't that be sad if I had porn pulled up and you got
That'd be awesome.
Who dies at the hands of U.S. police and how often?
Oh, there's no reporting of it. Compared with other capitalist countries, the U.S. is unquestionably different when it comes to the level of state violence directed against minorities. Richard Becker reported in January 2015 for Liberation.
Wait, run this back again?
Basically, here's the deal. All right, it's too long.
There's more people getting killed by the police than what they're telling us.
There's going to be a ... that we're not going to end up being able to finish what they're saying. But basically, what they're saying is there's no actual report of how many people no kept record of how many people are killed by the police in this country. So it's feared that it's a very high number, and that's the reason the number is not kept or there's not a record.
Number 7 is kind of part of why there's some topics we won't touch on here.
Uncle Tom, I'm telling you, Uncle Tom was right.
Fear of government spying is chilling writers' freedom of expression.
Uncle Tom was a writer for The New Yorker back in 1972. All right? Uncle Tom was a brilliant man. Never would have thought he'd be institutionalized. But you know what happened? Uncle Tom, that's exactly what he told me. I'm scared to write. And I said, Uncle Tom, you're crazy. And at that time, it was a fun crazy. But you know what? He was right. So, moving on. Machete? Oh, machete.
Machete.
I said machete. I was about to say, like, what's Danny Trejo got to do with anything censored? All right, number 6. Who's got it? Who's got it? Methane and Arctic warming's global impacts. So stop your fucking farting. All right. Now, really, the problem is our obsession with meat and the fact that we have a shitload of cows being produced in this country and around the world.
Okay, here's the key of what you take from this little write-up. In recent years, atmospheric methane levels have reached an all-time high.
Yep, a greenhouse
That
gas.
is bad.
Yep. It's a leading contributor to global warming, and
that's why everybody gotta go vegan, man.
this right here does not tell you where they're suggesting that the methane comes from. A lot of people have different theories on where the majority
But
of
it's a
the
quote
methane
from
comes from.
professors of climatology and meteorology at the University of Ottawa, so look it up if you want.
You stand behind a damn cow and you tell me, you stand behind a cow for half an afternoon.
No
and
thanks.
You tell me that
You go stand behind the damn cow.
That a billion cows, or a billion plus cows in this country, all doing that exact same thing every single day, day in, day out. Not farting each other's faces, farting into the atmosphere.
Recording?
Yeah,
How are we on
I'm pretty
time?
sure. How are we on time? It's time to
2
say
minutes.
about 2 minutes to wrap up the last 5. Oh my god!
Yeah, that ain't happening. We're
Yes,
gonna
it is.
No,
What are you
we're doing
talking
a
about?
5
What are you
minute
talking about? Number
follow-up.
5, Fukushima nuclear disaster deepens. Dun, 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 dun,
Reactor
dun, dun.
meltdown continues unresolved. The government and the major news in
It was never
Japan
resolved.
are saying it is resolved, but it's not, and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, it was
It's
never
been
resolved.
here for
it was
years.
swept under the rug.
Yeah.
And we're all just walking over that rug every single day saying, hey, nothing's wrong, when in all reality it's a ticking fucking time bomb.
Were they saying that it happened years ago?
It's still leaking. It
did.
happened in
It didn't say that
2011.
It happened years ago. It did happen.
It happened in 2011. It's
Yeah, no,
still leaking.
Oh, it's still
Yeah,
leaking.
Into the
it's like
Pacific.
Chernobyl, but it's
I thought it was
still going on.
holy shit.
But like, we don't want to hear about it because that's like some post-apocalyptic.
I thought
kind
that-
of a fucking,
no,
like,
Right.
depressing
What I
news.
thought you guys meant for a second is that the reactor was leaking before they actually came out with it, and then it crashed.
Well,
They've yet
yeah,
to be
kind
able-
of.
They've yet to be able to.
There was an
contain
earthquake and a
the leak.
tsunami that caused it to start leaking in 2011.
Yeah.
And they never got it
They
stopped.
contained it.
It
but they
hit
don't-
the west
it's
coast
still
of
there.
America like 3 years ago.
Oh, okay.
And it's still coming over. And
Yeah.
no one's talking about it.
But it's yeah, exactly. They put
We're
it
all
in,
gonna die.
Like the continued dumping of extremely radioactive cooling water. So basically, they've been dumping that shit into the ocean and putting new. Like ocean water on top of it to cool down the rods from getting them to overheat. If they overheat, they basically melt through everything they're in, and they can melt to the core of the earth. So the problem is, you have to keep cooling that shit down, and they have no idea what to really do. I don't think they've figured out exactly how to cool this shit down to the point where they can transport it and store it away. It needs to be stored away in the proper shit, and I don't think they have the ability to do that. I'm not sure. It's some crazy shit that it's still going on. They haven't been able to fucking clean it up like they did in Chernobyl.
And we'll see you on the follow-up.
Yeah, I think I did just fucking run us there.
26 seconds.
All right, so but you know what?
Yeah, we're going to have 4 more of these.
I did an
and,
awesome. I did an awesome. What do you call it last time? An awesome.
Seamless.
Couldn't even tell that we stopped for
Nice.
2 seconds. I don't know if you heard that on the last episode. So watch me hit this ball.
Don't want to sound like a dick or nothing, but
All right, we're back. And we're back. All right.
So yeah, that's that about covered Fukushima. So we're on to number
Fukushima,
4.
that's some crazy shit, right? It's insane that that's still going on. So number 4. What's number 4? Who's?
Popular resistance to corporate water grabbing. In January 2000, the people of Cochabamba, Bolivia,
Coca Bamba.
they shut down the city in protest against the privatization of their municipal water system, which resulted in rate hikes that doubled or even tripled their water bills. Yeah, that would piss a lot of people off, I can imagine.
Yep.
Yeah, it's actually happened some places in the United States as well. But it happens in other countries where water is a much more valuable resource than it is here.
You know how you know water's privatized? Flint, Michigan.
Yeah. Well, it's privatized a lot of places, and it's really sad. And there's actually.
And you get arrested if you collect rainwater in some towns.
Well, I watched the whole documentary.
Yeah, no, I don't think you can do that here. You can't. Can you?
Yeah, I think it's illegal.
I think it's
Some
illegal
places, they claim ownership over the rainwater.
Yeah, you can't fucking collect
that
rainwater.
shit came from the fucking ocean. Or that shit came from the clouds. That shit came from New Mexico or some shit.
Because they're not
They
profiting.
just want
off of
to
it.
control every aspect of.
They want
everybody,
they
man.
want profit,
Holy
and
shit.
they're not getting profit if you're collecting rainwater.
That's something I think we probably missed or we probably didn't touch on.
Plus, if you're
on
getting
the Agenda
rainwater,
21
you're not
show.
getting your daily doses of fluoride.
That's a good if you want to kind of give a
Calcify your pioneer.
now if you want to give a reason why Agenda 21 could actually be, or so there are some people pushing Agenda 21 for nefarious reasons, the privatization of water I think could be a good example of that. But I also watched a documentary how water is the new oil. If you just type that in, water is the new oil documentary, you'll find a good documentary about that on YouTube. Basically talking about how, no, it was on Jesse Ventura. It was a Jesse Ventura conspiracy theory episode.
Was it?
Yeah, it did a water privatization, or not water privatization, how water's like the new oil, and that people like the Bush family, not George Bush, I think it's not even Jeb Bush, one of the Bush brothers is like buying up, maybe it's George Bush Sr.,
There's
is
too many
buying up
Bushes.
water reserves and buying up parts of land that have water tables underneath of them that are plentiful because water is going to become a resource.
That's very Harry Reid-esque.
Harry.
Yeah, that senator that was buying up land and then selling it to China.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? It all makes
The one
sense
that
now,
he's the
doesn't it?
reason behind the Bundy Ranch standoff.
It all makes sense now, doesn't it, boys? Doesn't it? Wild card, bitches! Yeah! Oh, you didn't say it. I did put it. I put it at the end of the episode. That was fucking awesome. Yeah, if you can think of anything like that,
Wow, that's deep,
we're
man.
gonna get like a good soundboard, like one of the ones you push
Yeah.
like this, and fucking. Well, each week, hopefully, we can all get our own, and then we can have our own
yeah.
sounds and shit. All right, shut up, Nick. All right, number 3. So we're down to the top 3. All right, Brian, number 3.
89% of Pakistani drone victims not identifiable as militants.
Wow, that's
Since President Barack Obama's inauguration in 2009, an estimated 2,464
Wow,
people have been
man.
killed by drone strikes targeted outside of the United States declared war zones. This figure was posted February 2015 by Jack Surley and the team of the Bureau of Investigative Journalism, who maintain a database of all known strikes based on fieldwork, ...
Okay, if it's not, maybe just in that country. If I gotta secede and say just in that country for now. If it's not a successful thing and it's not a successful program and it has that small of a success rate,
Why the fuck are you using it?
It's killing innocent people. Why has that program not been? At least in that country, I'm just saying in that country. If that's in Pakistan, then why in that country has it not been? Because that's where the terrorist leaders like to hide out. Well, unfortunately, you're going to have to use old-fashioned technology and old-fashioned intelligence means, other than using drone strikes.
Yeah.
You can use drones for intelligence, but drone strikes are only killing innocent people 9 out of 10 times. So why is it still a program that we use in that country? Is our intelligence in that bad a shape? Can we not spy on every single one of them? If you've ever seen Eagle Eye, don't we have the ability to just
Great
look
movie.
at each one of them through their cell phones and see where people are at and try and geolocate them or some shit?
If you watch the
That way?
series Homeland
Why
on
are we killing innocent
Showtime,
people?
watch 6 seasons of Homeland in one sitting, and you'll be like, wow.
You know why? Do you know why? You really want to know why? It's because the rich white owners of this fucking country don't give a fuck about the fucking
Exactly.
poor brown people.
That's what it
in
comes down
Pakistan.
to.
The poor innocent brown fucking civilians of fucking Pakistan. They don't give a fuck about them. They don't serve any kind of purpose for them other
Seriously.
than fucking cattle to be.
Seriously,
fucking
everybody,
culled.
if you get a chance, watch Homeland.
fucked
It's
up.
about CIA agents and the shit they do, and the false flags they carry out, and how they pit people against double and triple agents and screw each other the fuck over.
Nah.
That's part of why nothing's getting done.
FPV, all right. we have to give a disclaimer to that real quick, what Brian just said. If you cannot pull yourself away from TV and you don't see yourself ever being a real activist or a real person that's really going to study this kind of shit, the Homeland's a great show for you. Homeland will really give you a good idea how the shit's actually kind of fucked up. There's another one, Fringe. You think Fringe is just kind of like some crazy shit, and half of it is just some crazy shit that probably has no basis in reality. But the other half of it is like, and it's fun to try and figure out.
So
what
was
half
Jesse
of it is
Ventura's
real
conspiracy theory.
Well, Fringe is like
he did the reptilian episode.
Well, Fringe is a show with a plot and shit like that, kind of how Homeland has a plot, and it's like a drama, or you know what I'm saying? It's not a reality show, whereas Jesse Ventura's show is kind of like a reality or documentary type show, you know what I'm saying? So if you can't pull yourself away from the TV, Homeland, Fringe, Jesse Ventura's conspiracy theory, great shows to watch. But if you can pull yourself away from the TV,
go on YouTube,
stand
look
the
up
fuck
Bill
up,
Cooper.
Stand the fuck up, get off your couch. If you can do this, get off your couch, walk over to your TV, all right? I'm not liable legally in any way for what you're about to do, okay? Just by the way, stand up, grab your fucking TV, don't even unplug it from the wall, yank that fucking thing, yank it as hard as you can so it unplugs itself from the wall, whether it unplugs from the back of the TV or the wall, doesn't matter. Take that fucking thing, walk over to your window, set it down right underneath the window, open that window all the way up, open up the screen, take that fucking TV, and toss that fucking thing as far as you can out your fucking window, all right? And then never fucking think about TV again. Or
And
stop
risk
thinking about it for
injuring or
5-10
killing
years.
people, damaging property.
I'm about to say this guy's giving Deadpool advice right now.
Right?
Nah, it ain't Deadpool advice. It's about throwing your fucking TV out the fucking window and fucking going out and fucking really trying to make an effort to be a part of this world. Think of yourself as a activist in the 60s. Do you think any fucking activist or anybody who ever wanted to make a change in the 60s?
No, I don't think they ever
Watch
threw a
documentaries.
TV out a fucking window.
No, they didn't even have to have the fucking TV. If there was a fucking TV, they just fucking left it
All right,
off.
man.
It
Number
was
one.
it was a coffee table. That's what the TV was. All right, anyway. Moving on. Number 2, oil industry illegally dumps fracking wastewater. Can you believe this shit? I knew it, too. You know it's happening, but nobody reports on it, so it kind of like floats out of your mind for a while. But you know it's happening. Who wants to read that?
You?
All right. California state documents obtained by the Center for Biological Diversity in October 2014 revealed that the oil industry had illegally dumped almost 3 billion gallons of wastewater from fracking, hydraulic fracturing to extract oil and gas, into Central California aquifers. According to the Center for Biological Diversity report, the leaking occurred through at least 9 injection disposal. Dot. Yada, yada. Can you believe that shit?
That's nuts, man.
That is fucked up. And they don't want to talk about it. It's like the BP oil spill shit. Oh, we're fucking up the environment. Oh, let's not talk about that. Let's not talk about that. And all of a sudden, if somebody's like, no, we want to talk about it, it's like, let's just murder that motherfucker. Like, we just talk about that shit, the environmentalists being murdered and shit. It's like, no, if you really want to talk about it, we'll just murder you because you're trying to get in the way of our profits, and that's all that matters. All right, and number 1. Who's reading us number 1?
Half of global wealth owned by the 1%.
Woo!
Yeah,
January 2015, Oxfam, an international nonprofit organization that aims to eliminate poverty, published a report stating that 1% of the global population will own more wealth than the rest of the 99% combined by 2016. The Oxfam report provided evidence that extreme inequality is not inevitable, but is, in fact, the result of political ...
That's fucking. You know what the crazy thing is? How is 1% getting over the 99%?
Bankers.
How does that happen?
Bankers.
We let them do it.
Multi-layered thing. It comes down to bankers, like Brian's saying. It comes down to families, elite families, who pass down they pass down through inheritance. They pass down their money and their wealth to their family. There's greedy people who hold on to their money. There's charities who don't actually distribute the money that they're supposed to be distributing. There's so many layers and so many facets. There's the way that our political and economic or socio-economic political system is.
And then you have the way all the different major brackets will say, like the automotive industry, the pharmaceutical
That's
industry,
what
the
I'm saying.
military-industrial
How they all-
complex,
well, how
the
all of
banking
these
industry,
will
how they
screw over.
all... It's a web
They
of
conglomerate.
commerce where... Yeah, I sell you some shit, then you sell it to Nick, then Nick sells it to me, then I sell it to you, and we just keep...
I just don't
And
understand.
the bankers control the interest rates.
Yeah, no,
Well, there's
I
this,
get that,
there's
but
this
I'm
false, this false theory in capitalism. I guess in a democratic society, there's this false theory in capitalism of trickle down economics, and how
Which would be great if they would
the
allow it
wealthy
to
are
trickle.
doing well, then inherently the money will trickle down. But the problem with that is, in a capitalist society, capitalists and somebody who's truly genius and brilliant
Got to save every penny.
well, no, somebody who's brilliant at being a financial mastermind, you know what I'm saying? Somebody like a J.P. Morgan or someone. I'm not saying he was a great guy.
Bill
But what I'm
Gates. saying
saying is he's financially brilliant, okay? So when it comes to being
Vince
financially
McMahon.
brilliant...
McMahon.
brilliant if you think about the XFL.
Well, there was
he's not
that.
financially
Hey, he
brilliant.
rebounded from that. Look at WWE today.
But in this society, right, WWE today is a shadow of what it was in the late 90s. The WWE is not...
In the late 90s, it was starting to suffer.
No, but what I'm saying is now it's almost like strictly for children. Strictly for children. I'm not saying
It's
that
very sexualized. There's a lot of...
it was becoming more and
Storylines
more
with the
sexualized,
women.
and
Really?
So then there's a lot
half of the
children
WWE
that is.
divas are former porn stars.
And I'm not. I
that's right, yeah,
apologize.
China was
I don't mean children because
Rest in peace,
the
China.
Rest in peace, China.
80s, the late 80s, early
Died
90s.
like 2 weeks ago.
We still love you.
Same day as
don't.
Prince.
Ugh, she's so ugly. The late 80s, early 90s.
I bet you Nick's watching
Yeah,
the
he
China sex tape before we got here.
Yeah.
Fuck
It
you.
was.
That is
Oh yeah, X-Pac
insulting,
hit
Brian.
China. Look at that ass.
Oh, that is insulting, Brian. You probably watched it for X-Pac.
Ew.
Fuck. Yeah,
That's-
exactly.
what the
exactly.
fuck?
You're gonna be insulting saying I'm watching China naked. Ugh. You're gonna make me fucking puke on my fucking laptop, and we need this for the show.
So you telling me
So
he didn't
sure.
come up to you and was like, "Hey,
Hey, big boy. No, I'm good.
Hi,
She reminded me of the
I'm
dude
World
from,
Wrestling
I
Entertainment
want you
superstar China. I'm a multi-millionaire and I'm known in every household. Wanna fuck?
She
all I want
reminds
you
me
to
of
do,
what's her face.
look, she's be like, Dick, all I want you to do is
Rocky
suck
Horror
my
Picture
blue
Show.
clit."
She reminds me of the chick from Rocky Horror Picture Show. She's the chick from Rocky Horror Picture Show. And I would not touch that with fucking Brian's dick, alright? I would not touch that with a
I'ma kill
10-foot
you.
pole. I'm telling
Why's
you.
it gotta be my dick?
That's fucked up, right? You're
Rory's
telling me
dick. Just
that-
say Rory's
yeah, you're telling me that I would fuck China? No fucking way. I wouldn't touch her with your dick. That's fucked up. Yeah, we're even.
So you would smash that for $1 billion.
$1 billion, I'd smash fucking, what do you call it? I'd smash Susan Boyle. Shit, I don't get
Oh.
for $1 billion.
How about $1 million?
I could change
brutal.
the
How about
Yeah,
10,000?
a million, I might be able to do some things.
10,000? 10,000?
guy.
No, 10,000 is not worth fucking the stress of my life. I have a fucking lady and I'm happy with that lady. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, yeah, back to what I was saying, right? In this capitalist society, somebody who is a true genius when it comes to capitalism, like a J.P. Morgan or somebody, right? And I'm talking about a modern day J.P. Morgan, maybe like a Bill Gates, they have actually learned how to play the system so well where trickle-down economics, they've learned how to not just slow down that trickle to almost a non-existent like
Halt.
exactly, like to halt it. They've almost been able to do that for all other capitalists that are true businessmen and true people that are willing to play the Wall Street game and willing to play the big business pharmaceutical
Yep.
game or big oil or,
Military
you know what I'm saying?
industrial
exactly
complex.
military industrial complex. You want to feed into that, like they've all of that. The trickling has gone back into the system. It hasn't fallen back down to the bottom, so we can all get a little bit.
And if you watch Corporation
and it
Nation-
trickles back up. No,
There's a good hour and a half section of Corporation
falls to
Nation
the upper middle class
Where-
and then starts funneling back.
where
upwards
in
again.
that they explain that it's a good hour and a half section of that documentary where they take just one township, and look at the whatever it was 40,000 different companies and organizations that one little city donates tax revenue to.
Exactly.
And when you
Exactly.
get every different township in the country donating, even if it's just a tiny little bit, that adds up, and you just profit it.
Yeah, you know what? In the end, I just don't understand how the rest of us, 99%, let them get away with that.
Because we all sit at home This is what I try and talk
There's
about.
survivors on
Collectively,
tonight.
like, how can we just let these,
Collectively?
how
You
can we
wanna
just
know
let
why?
these people get away with
Rich,
running?
this is what I
us
want
like
you to
that,
do.
man. It's just
Walk down the street. This is what I want you to do. Have that thought in your head. Walk outside of your house, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night. Walk outside your house, maybe 7:30, especially summertime, whereas you used to see people outside barbecuing, hanging out with each other, and like enjoying community and having a sense of family in your community where we can all talk about issues and this and that. All right, walk outside your house with that thought in your head and try and see how many houses you see lit up with a TV lighting up that fucking house, or how many people you see walking around just zoned out on their phone. And if you actually you walk past somebody and you just can take a quick look at what they're doing, they're zoned out on their phone playing Candy Crush Saga. They're not zoned out on their phone looking at holy shit, the fucking half of the global person. You know what I'm saying? They're not looking at Project Censored. They're playing Candy Crush Saga or Weed Farmer or some shit. They're playing games.
Weed Farmer.
Everybody has fucking put themselves on fucking autopilot.
Yeah.
We've gotten into this fucking autopilot society where it's like, well, we got technology, and technology kind of just makes everything so much easier for us, and blah, blah, blah. And nobody thinks that they really have to do anything. Everybody has become like lackadaisical. Not
Zombies,
everybody.
man.
But exactly, it's the
Zombies.
zombie
The zombie
shit, man.
apocalypse.
We're in the zombie apocalypse. When you see somebody walking around,
Our
and
generation
they're
is the
glued to their
zombie
phone,
apocalypse.
when you find out that there's, I think in Germany or Belgium or some shit, they're installing red lights and green lights at the corners on the sidewalks. In the sidewalks. Not a pole in the sidewalk. In the sidewalk itself. So when you look down, you see it. For people that are texting and looking down at their phone, they don't walk into the street and get hit by a car. It's become such a problem.
Wow,
And that's not the first thing that they've tried. They tried texting lanes. They tried texting lanes, and people just fucking walk right out of the text lanes, wander right out of the text lanes and into traffic. It's a
What
fucking
the
problem. That's a zombie apocalypse.
Yeah,
Holy
it
shit.
is.
You know what I'm saying? They're causing fucking insurance claims at the ass. All right? It's a certain sort of fucking zombie apocalypse. I'm sure in some insurance fucking fields, they call it their own little zombie apocalypse.
Well, the other morning at work,
Got
about
another
a week
zombie
ago.
got hit by my customer.
Dude, about a week ago, we were pulling out. We start work 6:30 in the morning.
I know,
We
I see
go
all
in.
your trucks.
We get in our truck. We pull out of our shop. I get less than a mile away from work. I'm on Taylor's Lane, making the right turn onto Route 130. I'm stopped at the red light. Some fucking lady rear ends me.
She rear-ended you?
Yes.
With what? Her fists?
No, her fucking SUV. She hit the back of my truck
All right. I'm sorry.
at a red light.
We gotta call.
She was probably on her damn phone because she was on her phone the whole time we were stopped there. She was on her damn phone.
That's fucked up. You know what, Brian? It's the phone is the problem. I'm telling you.
It
The
is
phone is the real fucking culprit here.
technology.
Is that the show?
Yeah, I'm serious. It really is a problem. You know how many people you like? Are we not all a little bit guilty of it? Have we not all done it? Found ourselves looking at our phone and all of a sudden looking up and being like, "Holy shit!" For the past 45 seconds, I was not paying attention to the road
Yep.
at all. All right, my brain subconsciously was sort of paying attention and sort of keeping me in lane,
Sort of.
but I was not paying attention. If there was fucking somebody that came flying up behind me, I'm looking down at my phone. I would have fucking gotten slammed into.
Yeah.
I think it happens more and more and more. And I think insurance companies and shit, they might be a part of a little scam to kind of just like let it happen a little bit. We don't want people to die, but we do kind of want more accidents and more insurance.
It all comes down to money, man.
It all comes down to money, man. All of it
And
comes
that's
down
why
to money.
1% have 99% of the
So
wealth.
Brian's talked about this
I
as
just can't
me
believe we let them
talking
get away
about
with
like
this
a one world society and one world government, which I do not say I'm calling for. But how do we get to the Star Trek world where we don't have? It's unfortunately it's a socialist world, and we have to lose some of our
The way to
connotations
do that,
with
the
a
way
socialist society
the way to get to
and
that level
protect
is
ourselves. From
And we're
what's
not
wrong.
saying feel the burn.
But how do we get to a Star Trek society?
the way to get to that society, man, is everybody has to leave these big cities, go into little communities about maybe 1,000, 2,000, and at that point, people will get along with each
You
other.
have fun in your FEMA camps under Agenda 21
But see,
while we
it's-
try to build Star Trek here.
No,
But I don't know, like, nobody's going to agree to that. How do we get people to agree to that? If that's the case,
Well,
how will
forcing them to
anybody
do
ever
it through
agree with that?
executive order is obviously not a good idea because
Not a
you're
good
going to
idea,
get.
but that might be the only
You're
way
just
to do
gonna,
it.
what you're telling me you're not giving me a choice. You're going to make me relocate to this friggin' camp.
but
Fuck you.
What was I gonna say? I had a point. Go ahead, just keep going.
How do you start a new country with these ideals and hope that that country can become successful and that the world will look to that as almost leading by example and the world will begin to follow. And one day all those countries that have begun to follow those new principles that have seemed so successful and so beneficial to humanity, they can all come together and create a one-world government that we all inherently know is not going to go to shit or try and lock everybody into a cage or, you know what I'm saying, not treat us like we're on a prison planet, you know what I'm saying? Treat us like we're on a paradise planet, you know? I don't know. But a nation that would try and start like that would be demonized by 99% of other nations out there.
Of course.
For not following the political process and not joining the UN.
Well, you know what would happen?
Not doing that.
The second
not
they
taking
don't,
loans from the IMF.
Yeah, the second they don't allow the World Bank to handle their economy,
Well, no. When
every country in the world will nuke them.
When there is no economy. When there is no
Exactly.
It's a barter.
When the
only
Rothschilds of the world are sitting there saying, "Wait, there's absolutely no possible way
successful.
whatsoever
Ooh.
we can profit off of this
Yeah,
nation,"
they bomb it straight
they'll
to
bomb
hell.
it to shit.
They bomb it straight to hell and erase it from the history books, and nobody ever knows. It was this place called Atlantis. It was this great place, and it's like, no, that's just a fantasy. No, you don't understand. They bombed it straight to hell.
Right? Literally, yeah, exactly.
Sometimes
That's
I
what
think
you
I make
get.
some fucking crazy points that could actually be fucking true. Like, Atlantis was
I'm waiting for the day someone
real.
knocks
It's
on
the
Nick's
real
door
paradise.
like, "So, we're here because you know about Atlanta."
I'm waiting for somebody to knock on my door and be like, hey, we're going to Hollow Earth. You want to come?
boy.
Right?
Oh, like I said, hey, and Cortana thinks I'm talking to her. Oh, you're so cute. I said, hey, are you want to come right in? Cortana. Alright, so I think we're good. That was a fun episode, Fitty. You know,
Fitty.
we're just over an hour. About an hour and 10.
Hour and 10,
10.
That's
Hour
not
10,
bad for 25 topics.
And 50 episodes, man. With fucking
But
50
real quick,
episodes
though,
in.
Hillary's emails, a lot of shit's come out in Hillary's emails that
Fuck
the
Hillary.
mainstream won't touch.
Fuck Hillary.
They're
Fuck
still
Hillary.
pushing her. They want her to get elected because they know she'll play ball and continue the agenda.
Yeah. I think
She's stealing elections
I
from
think
Sanders,
starting
and while I
from
don't
this
support
point,
Sanders,
we already know what's going to happen, okay? Either Hillary or Trump is going to get elected.
Yeah.
Okay? So we already know that that's going to happen. It smells like something's burning. Doesn't it?
That's a little bit.
all
Oh,
I
no,
smell
it's
is
my computer. Okay.
wonderful.
Yeah, no, I got the, what do you call it? The fan is blowing towards me. And it's the
That's a stink-ass
motherboard
computer.
smell. That's it. Yeah, it gets hot. What was I saying? Okay, we know Trump or Hillary are going to be, or one of them is going to be the president. Okay,
Yes.
we already know that's the case. Let's stop giving a fuck now about that shit. Hootie blazing! All right, fuck you.
That was random, right? Ladies and
anyway,
gentlemen.
Let's stop giving a fuck now. That was you. Let's stop giving a fuck now, right? And start focusing on trying to show people that it's all just a joke and how it's focusing more and more on how it's turning more and more into a joke and almost guiding people towards giving up on the whole American political system that we have in place. Throwing the whole
It's
fucking
guiding
thing
us
out.
away from our system.
Well, also, hold on. That's why we talk about things like as the United States Corporation. Because if people find out that the United States Corporation, they find out that our political process is really just kind of some quasi, like, two-headed fucking monster just about
It's like a
profits and
game
shit
that we
like
get to
that.
participate in for our own enjoyment and entertainment, really. It's to make us feel like we're part of the system, to make us feel like what we want matters and we're having our say. But really, if they want, they can use their super delegates and the Electoral College and all of the systems that are in place and just install whoever they want to install. If they really want, if Hillary's image hadn't been shattered the way it is now, like if there hadn't been so much that came out about her, then they could have still pushed Hillary in. They could have said there are no votes for Trump.
There are no votes for Trump. No fucking intelligent ones, that's for sure. But up there, where's our fucking shit? Oh, I gotta put it away. We'll have to get that back out for next week. The cymbal and bass. Do you like to play the bass? It's not even a bass. It's
a fucking drum kit.
Cymbal and drum. I like the bongos. Alright, this was a great episode. There's a little, majumbled, I guess that's a good word to say.
I still think to get
mental.
to a stage 3 society, we have to live in little communities, develop our own technology, share it with each other for free, and then we go to space. Yo, you know, I was watching something crazy today, or yeah, it was this morning, about how even if we became a stage 3 type 3 civilization, we won't be able to make it that far out of our celestial group.
What?
It's fucking nuts.
Why? Why can't we make it that far?
Because the empty space between, like, alright, they think the universe is compiled of multiple universes, like bubbles, right?
Mm-hmm.
So everything acts the same, like cells. So everything's pretty much just like the same patterns. Everything circles, everything's connected together. But the problem is that when space expanded, it contracted into a universe, into these pockets. Now these pockets are what we call our celestial group. So they're connected even bigger. But the longer the distance is between each group, the more space flows out, faster than the speed of light, blah 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 blah. And even if so pretty much what they're saying is that anything outside of our local group we can't get to because it's moving hundreds of thousands of times faster than the speed of light. That's what it's saying.
So it's constantly moving away from us.
Constantly moving away. But even if we got to that point where we were at that level to get there in like a billion years, they're so far away.
Hey, Scotty can go warp 10.
Yeah,
So there is no one ever across the universe, even for Type 3 civilizations. We can
I think that's where I
can
think
create
science
things.
is foolish to believe that it really knows that kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? To know exactly, like, to know, basically that's saying that all of this is completely real and there's no such thing as interdimensional shit. You know
It's
what I'm
like,
saying?
yeah, you
There's no
know
such
all
thing
that.
as-
Well,
But you don't know
in
what
the
the
end, you know,
weather's gonna be
the
tomorrow.
way I say it, my personal beliefs, nothing can move faster than the speed of light. Not anything material that we can make, but our thoughts and our spirits can. They could go through any distance at any speed.
I want you to look up a YouTube video called Rupert Sheldrake, The Science Delusion.
Oh, he's amazing, man. Rupert Sheldrake.
Yeah,
Watch
did
all
you know
his
that the
lectures.
speed of light is just a
Figment.
it's just a made-up number. That's actually, it's changed. I think back in 1945 or something, the speed of light changed, and because before that, there was different people had different speeds of light, different, like, there were little different variations in different fields and different countries and shit like that. They had different variations, and then they all agreed on a certain speed of light. But then that even changed. Like 10 years later, they all changed the speed of light, and it's like, that's the thing is, the speed of light didn't change. Their ability to measure it changed.
Yeah.
So that really tells you something. You know what I'm saying? That kind of tells you about science. It's that the things themselves don't change. Our ability to understand them, our ability to overcome them, or our ability to, I guess, measure them or observe them better, that's what changes. You
Pretty
know what I'm
much,
saying?
yeah.
So as we evolve, you know what I'm saying? But the problem I think I see with science is I don't see science ever looking back and saying, like, shit, you know what? We were wrong. They come out with a new hypothesis and say, this is the new hypothesis, but they don't want to talk about, well, we said this is what it was, and we're pretty matter of fact about it and pretty, like, concrete about it. And that was wrong. They don't want to talk about that. They want to talk about, look, what we've just found, if we thought we were right, then we wouldn't have found a new thing. And it's like, well, one scientist that had a novel, or who was actually being a real scientist and questioning shit and looking into shit, or one group of scientists, they came up with it, and then science took it over and said, yeah, you know what, they're right. But before that, science was like, no, this is what it is, you know what I'm saying? And that's what kind of bothers me. And like the speed of light thing is a good example of that.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know, traveling through space, I really, truly believe...
Yeah, but it's just that the space in which it's moving now away from us, in a billion years we're even able to get to that level, is going to be so, the space is going to be so comprehensible.
Here's my question: Are
we won't be able to make
too
it.
self-destructive? Does humanity need to be genetically altered because we're too self-destructive? Are aliens, are Greys, us from the future, genetically altered us from 5,000, 10,000, or even a million years in the future?
I really hope not. I don't want to be
That's
genetically
been
altered.
speculated a lot, and I think that'll help us with next week's episode, UFOs, Science Perspective, and Down the Rabbit Hole. I think it'll be a fucking amazing episode. Pardon my
So then we'll get up to that one then.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm talking behind the microphone.
And ladies and
Okay,
gentlemen, the rabbit hole's deep.
the rabbit hole is deep,
Well-
just like the struggle is real.
And when you think you got to the bottom of the rabbit hole,
Think again, bitch.
there's another
Yeah.
hole there.
Think again.
Yeah, did y'all check out Wilford or no?
Nah, yeah.
I watched the whole thing. I watched the ending of it, and the last season. Whoop, fuck your head up. I'll burn you guys a copy if you want.
All right, brother.
All right.
I watched Return of the Jedi.
On that note, hey, Star Wars, go Star Wars, hey, Star Trek better.
I like Star Wars, man.
I'm all about Star Trek, man. The new Star Wars, badass, my friend.
Yeah, it was like the first movie done again with...
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
I liked it.
But they hid some truths about what's going on.
Yeah.
You know what I liked about
right
it?
Now.
How J.J. Abrams came along and straight fucked up all these true, straight, diehard fucking Star Trek fans. How he came along and fucked them all up by making it an action entertainment movie that a lot of people
like the new Star Trek.
Watch.
Exactly. The new Star Trek
people
are
love
so dope.
watching, okay? Well, he came along and did kind of the same thing with Star Wars, where I used to hate watching Star Wars. They were kind of stupid movies to me. But this new one, I kind of like. And it's something J.J. Abrams does to these fucking movies. And
no, it's good.
There are
it's
some
the
Star
style.
Wars
It's the
fans
style.
out there. There's some Star Wars fans out there.
It got a lot. It was a lot sharper.
Diehard Star Wars fan, and they're like getting pissed off that there's people that have never had any real interest in, not true nerds, or people that never had no real interest in Star Wars are now like, wow, I just saw the new Star Wars movie. That was really good.
That was awesome.
That was a fucking awesome movie. That was fucking that action. That shit was amazing.
I think the movie was dope as
fuck?
shit.
Like, you never
man.
watched Star Wars.
It was.
It was
darker than the old Star Wars
It's
movie.
like what they did with Batman.
When you had
Yeah.
stormtroopers wiping out a town of
They took
civilians.
it from cartoony to realistic.
But
it was
honestly,
dark.
It was still like kind of like the first movie. It was kind of like Episode 4, man. You know,
I don't know. I've seen. I think. I've seen
except
only parts
instead
of the first Star
of being
Wars.
the size of the moon, the new Death Star's an entire planet.
I love it.
so it was a good movie, but it's kind of like I already know what was going to happen.
Yeah, they're
And
gonna
even-
blow up the planet.
even
blah
Han-
blah blah.
even-
You
Han
know what?
Solo
I
dying,
think
that
that,
was gonna
especially
happen.
considering J.J. Abrams was the director, not enough lens flare. There should have been more lens flare in that damn Star Wars movie. That would have really capped it off. It's been a wonderful show. Next week we're doing UFOs, scientific probability or scientific, what do you call it? The scientific perspective on UFOs.
And my perspective on UFOs changed, so I'm gonna give you all some
Woo!
dope shit.
I believe many of them are government manufactured.
Ooh, all right.
Look at the Nazis, Hitler, UFOs.
I believe
Google it.
some have been, but I believe many are not.
Yes.
I'm really starting to believe it's us from the future.
The bell, man.
I'm thinking it's us from the future, because what would us from the future do? We wouldn't come back and talk to me and you and this and that. If we were coming back to talk to me and you, we'd be coming back to pick your ass up and dissect you and implant something in you or some shit like that.
All right.
Not
Hell no.
talking to you.
I'd be coming back to talk to the people in charge and be like, yo, this is what's going to happen in the future. You need to stop it.
Exactly. But maybe you might say, this is what's going to happen in the future, you need to stop it. Or maybe you would say, I need to be in control because I know how to stop it.
Oh.
Alright, so on that note, it's going to be a wonderful show. If you want to find us, Facebook.com/3NM YouTube.com/Where We Lie To. You can find me, Facebook.com/The Real Nick Tesla, Instagram, Real Nick Tesla, Twitter, Nick Scott ADD. You can find Rich.
The Mind of Rich at blogspot.com.
Yep. Instagram, you can find
The
him.
Mind of Rich.
The _ mind _ of _
Rich.
Rich. Yeah, fucked me up.
My fault, because I told you it was all one
Yeah. I'm like, am I rich? How come they didn't tell you? I'm like touching on it. It says profile doesn't exist. I'm like, yeah, wait. No, I don't think so.
My fault, yo.
All right. So,
And I'm easy to find. Just Brian McFadden, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube.
you can.
Oh, yeah, The Mind of Rich, Facebook.
Yeah. Yes. Hey, we're all over.
Without underscores.
But I don't know.
We're all over the World Wide Wonder Web. So, everybody have a great week. We will see
Interwebs
you.
kind to us.
We will see you next.
We are 3NN. Thank you,
Thank you.
and have a good night.
Today's episode has been brought to you by Air. Read some in. Enjoy it. We gave that to you.
Let me know when this gets irritating, okay?
Now! It's irritating almost at once.